fast. If I could just read one. Ethantus Minor, he says, last year I listened to Dr. Myles Munroe at House of Grace Church, Nairobi West, and I can tell you, he is the man to inspire.
Thank you.
A lot of people, man. My goodness. Franklin Mireri says, what a show. Thank you, doctor, for highlighting the deployment issue as opposed to employment. Before the break, you were talking about leadership, and maybe we are a little tough on our leaders in Africa, but you say some of it is historical.
Yeah, but first of all, I think we need to put everything in perspective. Every African country and Caribbean country where I'm from, we are post-colonial countries. Colonization is never designed to produce leaders. It's designed to maintain followers and slaves. So our entire environment was conditioned by the colonizers to keep us in a servitude environment. So they had no interest in educating us to management, supervisory capacity, leadership, development. No. Yeah. We were designed just to serve. Of course, colonization lost and we emerged. So most of our countries are results of either some rebellion, some warfare, results of revolution. And what happened at the end of revolutions is those who won, based on numbers obviously, they end up with power without training, position without principles. So most of our leaders that led us to last maybe 60, 70 years, we admire them as being heroes of surviving rebellion. They overcame oppression. They set us free from, the shackles of colonialism and slavery. We thank God for them. They did a great job. But they were not trained in leadership. And so we got to be careful when we start to judge them. What I call them, were deliverers. A deliverer doesn't necessarily mean that they can set you free. No one can set you free. Freedom takes place between your ears and your mind. This is why many times when we call ourselves free, we still got mental problems, because freedom is different from deliverance. They delivered us, and so sometimes we expect too much out of them, and they cannot deliver the kind of leadership that they would like to, no training. So what we've been trying to do through our organization is travel through the nations, developing formal training programs. Leadership is both an art and a science. Every human being was born to be a leader. I'm convinced of that. But they must become a leader. And they're also born a leader, but not to lead people, to lead in an area of gifting. The concept of leadership based on the elite oppressing the masses is not correct. I believe every human being was born to be a leader in an area of gifting. The gifting is like a fruit. When you bear your fruit, you attract people to you, and that's what makes you a leader. For example, you didn't try to lead the millions of people watching you today. You simply decided to manifest your fruit, your gift. Your gift attracts people to this show, and therefore they think you are a leading voice in media.
Right.
So they make you a leader. It's like a fruit tree and a seed. Every human being is like a seed. Inside that seed, you think is a tree. No, there's more in that tree. Inside that seed, there's a tree that has fruit. And the fruit got seeds that have trees that have fruit that have seeds with trees that have fruit with seeds with trees. So in my hand, if I hold a mango seed, I actually have a forest in my hand. In this seed is a forest of mango trees. That's a fact. It's a truth. It's scientifically true. However, if I took this seed and put it on a tiled floor, leave it there for 50 years, what happens to it?
Nothing.
Nothing. Question, is the tree still in the seed? Yes. What's the problem? Wrong environment. So every human being was born to be a great leader, trapped on the inside of a follower. That's why true leaders don't create followers, they produce leaders. They help people find their gift, their talents. They help them release their fruit. Also, unique about a tree, once a tree brings forth its fruit, the tree never brings the fruit to you. It attracts you to the fruit. So when you discover your gift and you begin to manifest your gift, you attract followers. True leaders never seek followers. They attract them. Nelson Mandela never asked anyone to follow him. Martin Luther King never asked anyone to follow him. They simply discovered a passion, a gift, a vision, a dream, and decided to personally pursue it. That attracted people to them.
Doc, say that again. True leaders never ask?
True leaders never seek followers. They attract followers to their vision, their passion, and their fruit.
Okay, you're in Kenya now, and you just come from Tanzania, but I'll get to that. But Kenya now,
Yes.
looking at the environment,
Yes.
what do you see?
You know, I think the first thing we need to appreciate is that our educational system is based on a curriculum that needs to be adjusted. Most of our curriculums in schools in the developing countries are based on preparing a person to get a job. I would like to see us adjust it to prepare them to get a business. Now, it may sound simple, but it's two different mentalities. We actually prepare people to be employed, not to be deployed. So the environment does not stimulate the seed to germinate to become a tree. We basically train people to remain seeds, but to remain good seeds, who would never become a forest. I was born in that same educational system. I had to re-educate myself. I had to realize that the Creator hid your future where He knew you couldn't miss it. I want to say to everyone watching this program, maybe you're in a poor village with a television, looking at this program. Maybe you are frustrated, don't have a job. Listen to me carefully. The Creator designed everything in a unique way where its future is trapped on the inside. For example, in every seed there's a tree. In every bird born to fly, there's flight. Birds never attend flight school. The flight is built in. Every fish was designed to swim. Fish never attend swimming schools. They swim in schools, but they don't attend swimming schools. The swim is built on the inside. In every human being, there is a future trapped. So your future is not ahead of you. It's trapped within you. We keep looking for our destiny, when in fact our destiny is screaming at us saying, let me out. So your greatness is not ahead of you, it's trapped within you. What you need to do, just like the seed, is to put yourself in the right environment. This show to me is like fertilizer to somebody's seed tonight.
Absolutely.
It's like pouring water on someone's dream that was dead. I'm here to germinate your greatness so you can burst forth and to become the tree of life you're supposed to be, and then feed your fruit to the world. And by the way, your fruit was never given to you for you to eat. No tree eats its own fruit. Everything you were born to do is for someone else. Look at your gift, Jeff. Imagine you sitting in your house 24 hours a day doing this to yourself. Talking to yourself, this is crazy.
I've tried that. Actually.
Your gift is for us. Whatever you were born to do is for all of us. So you can always tell when you have your vision that is correct. People ask me, how do you know what a true vision is? My answer, a true vision never benefits the visionary. It benefits others. Your joy is when other people are positively impacted by what you give them.
Yeah.
So a tree gives its fruit away because that's the purpose of its existence. What you were born to do is to feed others. Once you feed them, they in turn bring back and give you fertilizer. That's called prosperity. No job would ever give you prosperity. Only your work would give you prosperity. You don't prosper from your work, from your job. You prosper from your fruit. Most people who become successful had to leave their jobs. Case in point, flight attendant. Okay, so I was a government administrator.
Yeah.
Making $12,000 US a year. Now I make that in one hour. I could have still been there.
Absolutely.
But I had to step out and believe that what I had was on the inside of me. And I want everyone to know this. Whatever you were born to do already exists, but it's trapped on the inside. And you've got to perhaps create your own environment for it. That's what I did when I read those 4 books in the Bible. I created my own environment. I had to change my friends. Sometimes the folks who are with you are pollution instead of fertilizers. For you to become great, you got to change the company you keep. If you poor and I'm poor, we're bad friends. Somebody got to have something.
Yeah.
So you always want to be around people who would force you to believe in your dream. They pull on your dream. They encourage you to believe that it's possible. And you want to be around people who stimulate your vision, who stimulate your ideas. If you are the smartest person in the group you are with, it's time to leave the group.
And seek others.
Don't be around people who you are smarter than, because they ask you questions but you never learn from them. Be around people who cause you to think bigger, dream bigger, believe bigger, act bigger. Be around people who draw on your dream, because you want people to pull out of you who you really are.
When you look at the leadership in this country, and it's a young leadership that's
Yes.
been in office maybe a year and a half and change, what do you think? What do you see?
I did a little research on the leadership of your country so far. First of all, I want to say congratulations to the president of your country. I read 2 weeks ago in The Economist magazine where he stepped down from the presidency to go to the trial and came back. You know, I want to tell him that's a great act of integrity. I think I want to recommend him to many leaders to follow his example. Great decision he made. But let me just say this, what I love about leadership. The people in leadership in your country today, I understand that most of them, especially the president himself, came into the government financially stable. I think that's important because nothing is worse than allowing a poor person to enter a place of power because they use the power to empower themselves. True leaders do not use power to empower themselves. They use power to serve others. And so I appreciate this government's mentality because they are trying to stamp out corruption. They're trying to destroy the spirit of selfishness. They want to see the service to the people as the priority. Keep in mind, leadership is not measured by how many people serve you. It's measured by how many people you serve. Service is the greatest act of leadership. Serving the people is why you exist. So anytime a leader wants to be served, that's not a leader, that's a parasite.
And every time they're amassing wealth for themselves.
Well, that's exactly. Corruption is a result of a poverty mentality. You know, I read a statement by the great King Solomon. Solomon says, "Woe to the land when a slave becomes king." I'm going to quote it again. Woe to the land, that means the country, when a slave becomes the king. What he's saying is the country will be destroyed if the person who's in power thinks like a slave. A slave is someone who is being stripped of everything. This spirit of scarcity and lack is in their minds. So they want everything for themselves immediately. And that's why poverty remains in many countries because the person in charge is a slave mentally. And they want to accumulate to themselves and forget about the people. I believe the future of Africa is going to be in the hearts of people, young people, and also older people who begin to appreciate the fact that greatness in leadership is empowering other people, not pursuing power, and serving other people, not being served. And so corruption to me is like a cancer that comes from a low self-esteem, poor self-concept, low self-worth, a fear of scarcity, and it's probably the highest manifestation of insecurity.
Absolutely. That and something we call negative ethnicity, tribalism.
Well,
tribalism.
Well, you know, tribalism to me is, again, it's a sign of low self-esteem. It doesn't matter what tribe I'm from. It's what I believe about myself that matters.
Tell the people out there. Tell the people.
This is exactly what happened to me. I was told by white people that I was a second-class citizen until I realized I shouldn't say that to myself. Your opinion doesn't affect my value. What you think about me doesn't change when I think about myself. I had to craft my own definition of myself. Define yourself. Don't even let your tribe define you. You were born as a human, not as a tribe first. Get back to your humanity. No matter where you're from, what color of skin you have, no matter what they label you, be careful. Labels can destroy who you are.
Absolutely.
I am first human, then everything else.
And we say, you know, we try to say we are Kenyan first, everything else second.
Yeah.
But it's difficult.
I think it's even go deeper than that. Don't say Kenyan first anymore. Say I am human first, then Kenyan.
There you go.
You know, God created man, humans. There was no race involved. Only one race, human race. And I think this is probably where we get into problems, when we start to label the races. I am a human, so I don't fight for human rights. I was born with them. Mr. Robinson had no right to tell me I was a half-breed monkey. I had to realize, no, I was made in God's image and in God's likeness. His opinion should not change who I am. So discovering yourself is more important than anything else in the world. And the only way to know who you are is to identify who your manufacturer is. And your manufacturer, of course, is the source, God himself. So you can never know yourself without God. God comes into your life not to take you to heaven, but to give you an introduction of yourself, to you, to help you understand who you are.
Is heaven on earth, Doc?
Heaven to me is there are two types of heaven. There's a place called heaven that is literally invisible. I believe that's real. But there's also the heaven where you connect to that and discover yourself. I live in heaven every day. I walk in heaven every day. Heaven is a culture that you discover when you have a relationship with the source.
Is that the same with hell?
I live. Hell is when you are not living in that relationship with God. Not just a place you go, it's a place that it's a disposition as well. You know, sleeping on the floor with roaches to me is hell. You know, that didn't make no sense to me. Okay, so, but to get out of that, I had to change my relationships, my knowledge base, my relationships also with God and with people, and to discover myself. So self-discovery to me is the greatest discovery in the world. And most people are so busy trying to imitate other people, they never become themselves. There are 5 questions every human must answer. 5 questions. These 5 questions control the whole world right now.
Can you hold that thought?
You got these 5 questions.
Hold that thought. We're going to tackle those 5 questions after
the break. That means
you
can't go away. Stay tuned.
There you go. You're taking over the show. You're taking over. Before we go, you're going to be speaking at a couple of engagements, and I can listen to you all day long, man. My goodness. Tomorrow morning there's a breakfast, executive leaders breakfast. It's already pretty full, by the way.
Yeah,
it's already pretty full. It's at the Fairmont Norfolk Hotel.
Yes.
And it starts at 7:30 a.m.
Right, and we're going to be dealing with how to discover your personal business, how to become a business person successfully.
That's at 7:30, and then the same day, maximizing your potential summit.
It's going to be an awesome session.
5:30 to 8:30 at JCC Parklands.
It's going to be powerful.
Reverend Bishop Cuna and Miss Kathy Cuna.
Yes, sir. It's going to be awesome.
Going to be smoking.
Yes, sir. It's going to be. I want to encourage everyone who can possibly get there to get there.
Saturday, time with the coach.
Yes, sir. We're going to be getting into my brain.
That's going to be at the Westin, opposite Wilson Airport. That's at 7:30 a.m. till 11 on Saturday. And then Saturday afternoon, Daughters of Zion.
Yes, I'll be dealing with women in leadership.
Again at JCC.
Yes.
My
it's going to be awesome.
You have a busy weekend, Doc.
I got a busy weekend, but I want to thank Brother Julian and his team. They're the ones who organize everything, and I'm looking forward to meeting with all of our people. I also plan to meet with the president. Hopefully, we can get that meeting done.
You know, he may be watching you right now.
Well, I appreciate, again, Mr. President, congratulations again for your integrity. I really appreciate the kind of spirit he has. To me, this is the kind of leadership we need in Africa.
Yeah.
Yes, and plus I really appreciate the fact that he has a vision for the country, which I'd like to talk to him about, because vision is the key to successful leadership. It really is.
My man.
Yeah, where there's no vision, the people perish. But it never says where there's no leader.
Where there's no vision, people perish.
So vision is more important than leadership.
My goodness. Who is this man? What a man. Incredible, man. I can listen to you all day.
It's possible for a man to be in charge and not have any vision.
Absolutely.
Therefore, the destiny will be a ditch.
Destiny will be a ditch. I still remember POD, prioritize, organize, discipline.
I think I'm ready to go home now.
Oh!
The student has learned the lesson.
Yes, sir. Jeff Kananga Live will take a break. Keep tweeting at Myles Munroe, at Kananga Jeff. The hashtag is JKL. I tell you, you simply cannot make this stuff up, and you cannot find these kinds of guests anywhere else but right here on JKL. And JKL takes a break. We'll be back very, very shortly. Back in a moment.